Okay.
Okay, girls, we're going to talk about push to Emerald because that is the first, Emerald is your first stepping stone in your business. It is the foundation of your business as a coach. It's basically saying, I really want to grow this business and become an active coach. Okay. Being a coach is great and we all start there, but to really build a business, we want to reach Emerald and then continue to hit Emerald. So that's why it's so important for us to understand what Emerald is so that we can continue to build upon that. Okay. All of the ranks that come after Emerald and the income that comes after Emerald, it's just you continuing to hit Emerald, whether it's monthly or weekly or daily, like that. It depends on where you want to be, but it's just continuing to hit Emerald over and over and over again, and you teaching your coaches to hit Emerald. So Emerald is super, super simple. It's you plus two. So it's two coaches underneath you who are your personally sponsored coaches. Okay. So it's super, super simple. It is a decision to be there because it's only two people, right? We all have two people in our lives. Out of all the people you know in your life, you have two people who will either join you, to be inspired and be motivated because they want to take steps for themselves, or because they love and support you and they want to help you, like maybe a parent or a sibling or a significant other. Okay. We all have two people who are willing to support us. On top of that, Beachbody allows us to enroll two people and pay for those two people. Now they have to be family members within your household. So like PJ and I can be on the same debit card because we live within the same household. He is my spouse. So we can be on the same card. Okay. Does that make sense? Like you can't say that your best friend is a family member and pay for them. That's not really within compliance. You want it to be somebody within your household, or it can be a parent. Okay. So you could do a parent as well. And let's just put it out there that these people, to get you to Emerald and to help support and love you to taking that first step in your business, one, they don't have to be an active building business builder or a coach who's going to go out there and work the coaching business right off the bat. And most of the time they're not. They usually are a spouse and a family member who are just wanting to support you and help you get that first kind of notch in your belt and that confidence and say, I am an Emerald coach. I've opened my business and now I can build that confidence to talk with other people about it. Okay. And they don't have to necessarily be somebody who's going to be on this journey with you for the long haul. Okay. PJ's still in it because he doesn't have a choice. But my other coach, she's still a client, but my other first coach is not a coach any longer. She signed up for the discount originally, and then now she's just a client. So it doesn't have to be somebody who's going to be necessarily an active business builder or somebody who's going to be in this for lifetime. Like I consider myself a lifer. I'm not going anywhere. I believe in the products. They've completely changed my life. So I'm here. Like I'm here for the long haul, right? It doesn't necessarily have to be that. So we want you to know that yes, it seems scary and yes, it can be overwhelming, but it is 100% a decision to take that step forward. After our last push to Emerald, Kylie and Katie both decided that they were going to go Emerald. Okay. And they actually both said that they were going to go Emerald within Team Cup, which is this month in February. They both popped last week because they decided that they were going to make it happen. So it's putting the fear aside and talking to those loved ones who you want on this journey with you. Maybe it's your best friend, maybe it's a parent, maybe it's a spouse. If you do have a spouse, Shauna, I know that you are not there yet because you are a baby, but for a spouse, it makes sense, especially if you are going to build this business and you want it to be a significant income or even potentially down the road replace your full-time income. You guys, you get to double dip when you have your spouse enrolled under you. And the sooner you enroll them, the more double dip you get because you have volume that accumulates underneath your personally sponsored coaches. So it makes sense that they would be at the top of your organization, right? So like for PJ, his account could sit, and maybe I'm not necessarily growing it at the time, but it's still bringing in a couple $100 a week because he was enrolled right away. So it makes sense to put them in your organization right away, even if you're not building them right off the bat. It makes sense to put them in as soon as possible. And here's the thing, if you're getting Shakeology and you're getting the performance line, you get one underneath your account and you get the other one underneath your spouse's account. And the only difference is it's going to cost you another $15 a month. But it's getting you that benefit so that you can start making money under both accounts. Okay. So it does make sense. And it's really not costing you anything more to do it that way. All right. So what is Emerald? It's you plus 2. So 1 on each leg, right? So you have a left leg and a right leg. It's the easiest way to describe it. You plus 2. Now you have 2 legs. Okay. Now do you girls have anything to add to that before we move on? I know we're just kind of doing like this informal talk about it tonight, but no, we're good. Move along. Okay. So who do we want to invite? We kind of already talked about this, but our spouse, our parents, siblings who maybe want to use Shakeology or their performance line. Hopefully they want to do the whole thing and do a challenge group with us and get involved. He's giving us the energy. Yay, we're going to hit Emerald. I mean, hopefully, ideally, we would want them to be all in with us, right? To do a challenge group with us, to get results, to feel good themselves, to be a part of the community and have fun with it. But maybe they're just going to use Shakeology. Like my parents are enrolled and they just use Shakeology. They're not working out, but they use the products. So parents, siblings, spouses, if those are, maybe you've already got them enrolled and you just need one coach, or those are not an option for whatever reason, best friends, okay? Best friends, that people like your ride or die people, the people who you can go to and they're always going to be there for you. And maybe it's just, hey, I would love for you to do this with me. I'm just starting. I really don't know what I'm doing, but I'm having a blast working on my goals, taking steps for me. And I want you to be a part of this with me because it's exciting to me. I feel really good and I'm excited for where I'm going. I'm excited for the new things that are coming into my life. I'm excited for the new mindset that I have. I'm excited to move forward and grow. And I want you to be a part of this with me. Will you join me? I don't know if you girls listened to the call from, what was her name? Something Mackenzie. I don't remember. I just shared her call. She's been a coach for like 9 years. I just shared her call on our team page last week or the week before. And she's talking about how when she initially enrolled, it was just her very best friend and she was doing her own thing, doing her own workouts. But her best friend, she was like, yeah, whatever. Her best friend called her and said, hey, I need your social security number because I'm doing this thing and I want you to be a part of it with me. And she was like, okay, I'm in. Okay. So don't discount people just because maybe they're already doing something like another fitness program, or that you're not sure if they would do Beachbody or not. Okay. Just share the excitement that you have for what you're doing and where you're going. And if they're your really good friends, then hopefully they will support you and help you move forward in your business and do it with you. Okay. So that's who we're doing initially to get started. Other people are, is if you already have customers that you're working with, those people who are in the challenge group and they're loving on other people, they're already taking steps like you're doing to be kind of that inspiring mentor that's encouraging others and who is a team player and who is helping those in the group, right? So as you're continuing to build your business, or if you've already got clients, you want to definitely reach out to those people. They're already doing what you're doing. It's just asking them to take another step forward into more of the community, to have more love and support and accountability, and to help them start helping those around them to become a leader in their circle. Okay. So that's who we want to invite to help us reach that next milestone. You girls you want to add anything, or like who you thought of, like when you were working towards Emerald? It's been a little while since I worked to that.
I was going to say, I think something that is super important to do too, which I think this is more of a proactive habit versus like the actual inviting process. But when you are inviting to your challenge groups and when you have people that you are getting ready to enroll as clients, before you send them that link, you need to bring up the coach thing. And you don't have to bring it up in like a hard, like, hey, do you want to coach with me? I don't ever do that unless someone straight up is like, I want to do what you're doing, which hardly ever happens because most people are, not at that point mentally. But I always make sure to bring it up and I sometimes I don't even say coach. I'll say like, just to give you the option, like we are starting to call it, I think what the preferred
Yes. Preferred
member
customer.
now. Like before that, I always said, if you want to be a legacy member or something. I think Ashley Moll always said, hey, you want to join me as a legacy member. So I always say it like that.
Mm-hmm.
But I always just bring it up that way so they can get the discounts, they can get access to the newest programs, they get all the perks, they get the added accountability of being in with this group of amazing women. So that is something, it doesn't have to be a hard invite. It just needs to be brought up, even if they say no. That way, when it comes time for you to ask them about coaching later on, if they are loving Shakeology or the performance line or whatever it may be, it's not completely out of the blue. They already kind of have an idea of what you're talking about. So I think that's something too, just to make your conversations more organic.
Yeah. And I do that too. I ask my girls, I say, before I send the link, I will ask them, are you planning to stay on Shakeology? Like, let's say they're doing 9-week Control Freak. That's 3 months, right? It's more than 2 because it's 9 weeks. So are you planning on staying on either the Shakeology or the Performance Lane, or if they're doing both, are you planning on staying on the products for the entire program? And I say, I don't require it. I definitely encourage it. And most of my girls do, but I don't require it to continue working with me in the challenge group. If you are planning on it, it does make sense for you to become a preferred customer because you're going to save 25% on the products, and it's something that you can cancel at any time. Now, that's still enrolling them as a coach as of now, but come March, we will have a coach and we will actually have a preferred customer option. So a preferred customer is where they still have to pay the business fee, and they get to utilize the discount, but they're not a working coach. Okay. They're not somebody who's building the business. They can switch over to a working coach should they decide, but it doesn't ask them for their social security number for tax, like for a 1099 purpose, like a coach. Okay, so that's the only difference. So that is kind of a nice option because some people don't want to give their social security number when they enroll as a coach. So they would be a preferred customer, and then you would have the coach option. It works the same in your organization as far as helping you advance and rank, and volume and income. Everything is the same. The only difference is that we are not labeling them as a coach, and we're not asking for their social security number for tax purposes. Okay. So that is an option. They're basically like a VIP member. They get to use the discount. They pay a small $15.95 fee each month, and then they get the discount. So that's super important to point out as well. Mindy, do you have anything to add as far as like what your thoughts were like when you went to Emerald, and who you kind of were thinking of in your mind?
Yeah, so when I first went, I ended up signing up my boyfriend, which I was kind of like a little bit like weird about it at first. 'Cause I'm like, well, he's not my spouse, but we are in a long-term committed relationship. So it wasn't like putting him in that spot was going to be detrimental down the road. But it was a conversation I had to have with him because it was like, hey, I need your social security number, and you're going to sign up and do this. And it was just a different conversation, but it worked out. So that was one that like I knew in the back of my mind was always going to be like one of my people. And then after that, it was, I went to my best friends. All three of my best friends signed up. One is currently a coach, one is getting ready to transition to a coach, and one is just a client. But I went for my three best friends first, and then family. And I had a couple of my cousins who I had just over the years that when I did Beachbody had talked about it. So when I became a coach, it was a really easy conversation to have to say, hey, this program I've been doing for the last couple of years, I'm coaching now, and I'd really like you to do it with me. And so I had, a couple of my cousins also who were like, absolutely, you know, we want to help you out and we know how much you've loved it the last couple of years. So like for me, and when we talk about like the push to emerald, it's like, you know, make your 10 best list, the people that you're going to talk to, the people you're going to invite. Like my top 10 list was like, bam, I had it immediately because there was all these people. And I've just always talked about it with family and my friends and stuff like that. So it wasn't like it was totally coming out of left field either, because they knew what I was doing already. I just transitioned to coach and it was like, all right, now, all right, let's do it. Come do it with me. So make sure that if you don't have that list already, that you're thinking about it or you're putting it together, and start talking to those people, because I think that's really important. And kind of like Corey was saying too, you might have people who maybe aren't aren't going to go for it right away, but you sort of are planting that seed a little bit, and then they'll kind of come around. Like my one good friend who, I mean, when we talked back in like July timeframe, she was really hesitant to even sign up because she's like, "Oh, I've never followed through with anything like that. I don't think I would do it, but I'm going to support you and I want to do it." And now she's like all in. So now we're having the conversation of, okay, let's, you know, do you want to be a working coach in this? And she's like, had you talked to me about that months ago? She goes, I would have thought you were absolutely insane because I didn't even think I could stick to the program, let alone potentially bring others along with me. So you never really know, but you kind of get that seed planted, and you know, to have those conversations, and don't be shy about it and don't feel weird about it, because if you truly are loving what you're doing there, that's going to come through when you're talking to somebody, and it's not going to be false. It's not going to be phony. It's going to be, this is something that's changed my life. This is something I love. This is something that I think you would benefit from. Not saying that you need to lose weight, but because it's just a healthy way of life, and everybody deserves to be healthy. Everybody deserves to feel good in their body, in their skin, not feel sluggish, not feel tired, not feel drained of energy. And so those are the things that you're talking about. And it's like, I'm, you know, I'm not trying to sell you or convince you to do this. I'm just telling you this is, you know, amazing. And I think you would like it too. And it just organically, naturally happens, those conversations. So get your list together if you don't have it.
No, and I think that that's super important to point out that not everybody's going to be on board, and you're going to have people say no. So don't let that discourage you or hold you back, because we all hear no. We all heard no. I still hear no on a daily basis. But here's the thing, it has to be on their time. I said no a bunch of times before I started. Okay. So Mindy said no a bunch of times. Even though she was killing it in my challenge group, she like blew me off and denied me for like 2 years. So like 2.5 years. And now she's one of our leading coaches. She's been a coach for 6 months, you guys. And how many team calls has she led, and tips calls? And like, she is leading the forefront because she knows the change that this brings, right? Her energy is there. So it's important to point out the fact that her best friend joined, was hesitant, but didn't want to do the coaching thing. That's okay. We are not here to push people into doing something that is not for them, or to persuade them, or to coax them, or like switch and bait them and some bullshit, because that's not what we do. We're simply sharing something. If we're doing it and we truly love it and we love the way that we feel, that's going to come through. We genuinely want people to be loved and uplifted by this community. And if it's a good fit for them, awesome. And it might not be at that moment, but think of it this way. You're planting a seed of belief and hope in that person because you see something in them. They may not see it yet, and they may not be ready yet, but your invite is absolutely planting a seed of belief and love in that person, that you see them. We are all so quick to just go through life anymore instead of stopping to see one another. Ask, how are you doing? Not just how are you doing, because you're asking, how are you doing? Are you okay? Really loving people and listening to people, knowing when people are hurting. That's what this is about. It's about helping people through things. So feel that, exude that when you're approaching the people that you love with how you're feeling about what you're doing. And that will absolutely come through, and it will be genuine. But I want you to understand that it is not a no to you if they say no. It is maybe they don't believe in themselves or they're not ready for them yet, but they're watching. Okay. It helps to kind of just put that seed of belief in them so that when they are ready or they feel like there's a shift happening, they know where to go and they know who they can trust. Okay. So what we would love for you girls to do is to work on creating that list of who we can invite. Okay. Those 10 to 15 people who are your best friends, a significant other or a spouse, a parent, family member, siblings, whatever that looks like for you, because we're all different. Okay. But you want to be speaking to your people. I know that, and Shauna, I don't mean to like call you out, but like Shauna asked me a couple weeks ago, well, our team is mostly women or mostly moms, and I'm not a mom yet. You have to create your circle, right? Our circle is mainly moms because that's where I am, right? And Caitlin's team and her circle is moms because that's who she is. And likewise with Mindy, you're in college and you're just kind of starting your life and you're finding that balance of being on your own and creating your own habits and starting your own life and having your own way about things. That's a whole different circle, but it's a beautiful circle to have because those are going to be your people, right? Like you're just starting and you like, God, I wish when Caitlin and I were in Findlay that I cared half as much about what you're doing right now then, because life may look totally different, but that wasn't my story. That's not where I was supposed to be. So be true to where you are and what your circle is. And that is who you are going to speak to. And those are going to be your people. And that's how you're going to build your community. And what's cool is that we all get to do that and all of our circles mesh together, but we're all so unique in what we do, right? So we want you to work on creating that list. What time is it? It's 8:26. So I want you to right now, I'm put you on the spot and I want you to think of at least 5 people in the next 5 minutes. I'm going to set it to, okay, I'll put 5 minutes. At least 5 people to start brainstorming because we have a what is coaching call. We're calling it a virtual girls night. And it's not going to be a super formal call. It's going to be Caitlin, Mindy, myself, Kylie, and Katie sharing a little bit about what has changed since we became coaches. And the beauty is we're all at different stages, right? I've been a coach for a long time. Kate's been a coach for a couple of years. Mindy's been a coach for 7-ish months now. Kylie's only been a coach for a couple months and Katie's only been a coach for a couple months. So it's different paths along the way, but we all have our own story and we all have something inspiring to share, right? So that is going to be our call on Tuesday. So what we want you to do is to connect with those people that you're writing on your list right now and that you're going to work on writing tonight after the call and tomorrow, and then inviting them to listen to the call on Tuesday. Okay. The call is going to be at 8 p.m. EST on this Zoom link that you use every single time. It is also going to stream live into our team What is Coaching group, just like it has each month. Okay. I will put it on YouTube, so we will have a recording if they can't make it Tuesday night for whatever reason. And it'll also be saved in the Facebook page because it's going to stream live into that group. Okay. So you're simply going to ask them if they would like to learn more about what you're doing and share a little bit. You don't have to tell them that you're a Beachbody coach and do they want to be a Beachbody coach with you? Just tell them like, I'm doing something new and I'm super excited. I've been working on creating healthier habits for my nutrition, fitness, and mindset. I have this amazing group of women that I work with on a daily or weekly basis. You can talk about the virtual gym if you're doing that every morning. Talk about the community and why you're excited about it. And then tell them why you want them to be a part of it. Do you want them to be a part of it because you are inspired by them and what they're doing, and you feel like it would be a good fit and it would just be awesome to link arms with them? Or do you feel like they would really love the community and being a part of the weekly calls or the virtual gym and just having that time for themselves? Share that with them. Just be honest. Think about, like, if you were at Starbucks talking to your girlfriend, like we're talking right now, just very candid and open and honest. It doesn't have to be like this scripted, beautiful invite that you feel like is articulated perfectly. You might totally fumble over your words. Who cares? It's real. And you're only going to get better if you practice, right? So I talked way too long, and that was 3 minutes. So I'm going to give you 5 minutes, and I want you girls to write a list. And I'm going to write a list too, of people who we're going to work on inviting for the upcoming call. Okay. So 5 minutes, start. You can get more than 5. You're awesome. I like it, Leah. I like it. Okay. That was 5 minutes. Did everybody get 5? At least 5? I got 10. Leah, I like it. I like it. That a girl. Okay, so before we end the call tonight, I want to know, one, if you have any questions, speak now, ask. Don't be afraid. Like, speak now or forever hold your peace. No, I'm just kidding. But like, ask, because you don't know unless you ask. And because you guys are newer, you're going to have questions, and somebody else probably has the same question. They just, one, haven't thought of it yet, and they will down the road, or two, they're too nervous to ask. So if you have a question, ask. Two, if there's something holding you back, I know the three of you are really just working towards starting to take those stepping stones for your business. But if there's something that holds you back, or hesitation, a fear, objection, something you've heard, anything like that, I would love for you to share it. Even if you just want to type it in the chat because you don't want to talk, that's fine. But we would love to help you work through that, because we've all been where you are, right? We all started as a brand new coach with no clients and no customers, nobody underneath us. So we want to help you work through that, because we've already worked through that and we have been there. So type that in the chat, or go ahead and unmute yourself if you have some sort of struggle or challenge that you're currently facing when working towards that. Or is it just taking that step, or knowing who to invite? Do you feel like our talk was helpful? Like you were able to understand what to do, and that it's okay that if you get a no, it's not going to be the end of the world? Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Girls, do you have anything you want to add? Words of wisdom?
I'll just say that it is, at least I know for me, when I was first starting with this, I felt like it was super easy to get discouraged with those no's. And just know, like, I don't even know how many coaches I have under me at this point, and a majority of them are people that had said, like, heck no, never in the beginning, and then they come back later and they decide to coach. So don't, I don't know, never count anybody out. Like, it's not going to be for them, because that whole, like, it's not for them right now thing really can be true. So just don't get down if you're getting no's. And I mean, I think it just is what it is, especially when we're inviting people that we have newly met, like through social media or something. It takes people a lot of time to build up that trust and have that faith in you, to see that you're a genuine person. So those are people too that, I mean, it's not like we're selling makeup or something where it's like, here, like, take your compact and move on your way. Like, we are helping people to create a lifestyle. So this business takes a little bit more time.
Yeah.
So,
and if you didn't listen to Kate's tips last week in the group about no's, it is amazing. So definitely go listen to that. It's a short little call and it will help boost you. And when you get the yeses, because you're going to get yeses too, like I feel like we speak on the no's a lot because they're the ones that are discouraging and they're the ones that will deflate your sales. So we speak on those a lot. You will get yeses. And so we want you to be excited about them. But when you get the yes, take a deep breath. Okay. Take a deep breath, slow down a little bit, and just speak from your heart. You can't say the wrong thing to the right person at the right time, and you can never say the right thing to the wrong person at the wrong time. So put that in your head now. That's something I've told myself from day one. And when I feel discouraged, I say that to myself again because it's the truth. Okay. But take a deep breath when you get the yeses, because you will. And if you need help, where to go from there, so you don't just it all on them. Let us know, because that's what we're here for. We don't want to word vomit on them completely and throw everything on their plate at one time. So ask if you need help from that point too, because it is super exciting. And I know that you'll be like, so my encouragement is just take a deep breath. And when you take that deep breath, it can allow you to process the fact that they said yes. And if you have to put in the group chat, I got a yes, and then take your deep breath and then message them back, then that's fine too. Okay. Always ask if you're not sure where to take a conversation or how to respond. We are always willing to help guide you until you find your voice. Okay. Until you find your rhythm. All right. Yay. Take a deep breath. We're going to invite those people from that list. We're going to invite them to listen to the call on Tuesday. If they can't make it, we will have a recording available, and you can ask them if they can't make it. That's fine. You can ask them if they would like the recording or to be added into the group. Ideally, we put them into that Facebook group so that when we do that call again, or we share more content on coaching next month, it's another touch point. They're going to continue to see information in that group. Does that make sense? Okay. All right. If you have any questions, or if you think of something after, let us know. Kudos to you girls for making the time to be on this call. We have 3 calls, 3 nights in a row, and I know it's a lot, but it's just that step forward to help us grow and to kind of put it all together so that while we're on that momentum, we're on that rhythm, we're just going to knock it out and get it done. Right? Okay, cool. You girls have a great rest of your night. I appreciate you for being on, and we'll see you tomorrow.